Sean, think of every coach in the National Football League. Who's winning the bench press?
Who's winning the bench press? All right, so I got to go with D'Amico still, right? I mean, I think I just saw him earlier today. Let me think of the new guys hired.
I love that you think of the new. Why? You have to be young?
No, I just want to make sure I'm not missing anyone.
Okay.
And so I'm just going to work backwards. I'm going to go with D'Amico Ryans, absolutely.
All right.
I think he's got the right arm length, which is important. You know, if you're one of the things that's difficult when we test the bench here, and if you said, hey, give me the top 20 bench press results, I don't know that you're going to find a really good football player benching that weight 46 times because there's an arm length issue. And so I think D'Amico probably has the perfect strength and length. Yeah, that'd be mine.
That's a good one. Raheem didn't like D'Amico. He said Dan Campbell.
That's a good one. I'm just going, I think there's I've been with Dan long enough to know there's an injury risk. I was in New York with him when we drafted him. I've been with him the whole time. Yeah.
How about you? How many reps do you think you can get out on the bench?
2.25 here. I might be able to get it 3 times, and then spot.
If you're leaving, imagine when your kids were still young. Let's pretend they're young. You're leaving for a week. What current NFL head coach would you trust to babysit them for a week?
Who would I leave them with? All right. Man, that's a great question. Well, I would leave him with Campbell because I trust him like a brother.
All right, that's a good one. Which head coach does the best job sweet-talking refs?
Well, the easy answer is going to be Andy because he's done it the longest, and there was that whole postseason. The Chiefs get all the calls, but I don't really buy that. I think those guys earn them with their play. No, they earn. The better teams generally are penalized fewer, generally, not always. So who do I work? I like Todd Bowles is a little sneaky. You know, you got to be worried about the guys that are just never yelling at them, and then you're like, man, I got to rethink my philosophy, you know. But I'd say Todd is one of those guys that's got that. When you talk to him, you know, he can kind of seduce you with his voice, I would say. You agree?
Yeah.
You can see that with Todd.
But he's got some bite to him, too.
No, I'm not saying that, but I could just see him. Like, when you meet Todd, there's just a warm smile about him. I've worked with Todd. He's a tremendous coach. So I think he'd be a little sneaky effective with that.
That's a good one. Let's say you get a flat tire on your way to the stadium. Which of your players are you calling first to come help?
Well, Sutton has got, Cortland's been on horses, you name it. Sutton would be the guy that would. Sutton or Meinertz.
You think Sutton has a jack in his car?
No, but he's going to have immediate answers, though. He's going to, yeah. He'd be a real good resource.
If you could have coached any one retired player in NFL history, who's one guy you wish you could have had?
There's a lot. That's a great question. It's a great question. I would say, look, Favre was one of those guys that I studied a lot, and that would be an easy answer, but I would want to go back even further. And Namath was someone that had great feet. But maybe defensively, I would say Ronnie Lott. And we got close a little bit early on. You know, he spent time with us just during training camp. He's an all-time great, obviously legend 49er. But there was an element to his game that people forget how dominant he was. So I would say Ronnie Lott.
Your buddy Todd Bowles also said Ronnie Lott.
Come on, really?
He did.
Look, sneaky Todd.
All right, last one.
What'd I say, huh?
Last one. If you were not an NFL head coach, what would your job be?
I'd be an NFL assistant coach. Look, sometimes we end up someplace in our careers. I think that there's that you're finishing college, I want to play, and then you have that year where you're bouncing around and you're in different leagues. And I remember going to San Diego State as a graduate assistant. My mother was like, hey, your friends are getting married. They have health insurance. What are you doing? And it was like you didn't want to leave. And so that was the next thing you could do to stay. It would be in sports, though. My father put on a suit and tie every day, got on the bus to go to the train, to go downtown. It would not be that. I love not having to get dressed up.
Well, that's what you didn't like about TV, right? Was getting dressed up.
It was once a week, and then Gronk had to get me the comfortable shoes, right?
You can wear the Jordans?
You can, but he had these like really good shoes. I don't know what they were. They were fantastic. And that was fine. But my wife will give me a hard time when I'll come home and I'll say, I want to get in something comfortable. She's like, you're not in something comfortable right now. I'll be getting out of sweats to go into pajamas.
That's awesome.